Hello there. 'Tis I, Photo Dave, and this is Toypixx. And Toypixx is all about helping you and helping me get better at our action figure photography. So oftentimes I'll talk about action figures and toy lines, whatever's going on in the toy industry, news-wise, all that. But I'll also talk about photography equipment. I'll talk about tips and tricks. I'll set up Photoshop tutorials, those kinds of things, so people can actually get better at the whole action figure photography thing. So if that sounds like something that interests you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give me a sec now. Oh, that's hot. Also, with a video like this, I'm going to try and finish recording the video before the green tea gets cold. Whew, so far, I'm nailing it. Now, let's get to the intro. For today's video, I'm going to be going over this previous week's photos that I shot for Toypixx. Now, I shoot a photo every day, and coming April 6th, it'll be 2 years straight that I've posted photos on a daily basis, which is insane to me and probably pretty much everyone else. But yeah, 2 years straight. It's coming close. I'm kind of getting a little fired up about it. Anyway, I'll be talking about the prior 7. And then at the end of this video, you'll see what today's photo is. So make sure you stay tuned to that. But first, before all that, I'm always all about the ABCs of collecting, as in always be curating. And with the recent G.I. Joe Classified announcement of the Viper 3-pack and the fact that the blues are a little darker and I'm a little crazy when it comes to making my troopers look the same, I'll be getting rid of the only Viper I have. Yeah, he's going to end up getting sold, not because he's a terrible figure. He's a great figure. I think he's a really cool figure, actually. But if I decide to get more Vipers, it'll be all the Vipers from the 3-pack, which means, we're all willing to bet that that 3-pack is going to be around $75, right? So I'm going to have to be very careful about what all I do Viper-wise. But yeah, getting rid of him so I can get the others, which means all their uniforms will be exactly the same. Because I'm kind of sick like that. So with that out of the way, let's get to the first picture from last Sunday, January 23rd. So the Sunday pick was Stan Lee. Now what I put on the picture is I put his shield kind of in the foreground a little bit. He was basically in a coffee shop. The background was from the diorama I have from High School Creations, and don't worry, I'll leave those links in the video below. Let's see here. Let's actually look at the picture. Stop pretending I'm just remembering all this from memory. Just holding a Coke. Like, a lot of the stuff in this picture was actually just using props. I got a lot of coffee shop props when it came to Christmas, and I thought that'll be fun to use, and that's actually going to be my first dio, is I'm going to make a coffee shop. Everybody else has war-torn this and that and the other thing, and frankly, I love working at a coffee shop, so I know coffee shops, so why not make a dio of a coffee shop? So that was the deal with Stan. I thought it's Sunday, people would like to chill on Sunday, let's just do a nice chill picture for Sunday. So that's what happened last Sunday. All right, on to the next one. Monday's picture was of Major Blood with a bunch of Cobra Troopers, all kind of surrounding Duke. Gun it, Duke. The caption was, let's see here. I'd love to add yours to my dog tag collection, Duke, but the commander has other plans for you. So, nothing, it was kind of very 80s. You've got the leader of G.I. Joe right there, or the guy that they wrote as the leader. Everybody knows it should have been Flint, but I digress. You've got that there, and instead of just offing them right there, so you cut off the head, the commander's got plans for you, meaning in the future, Duke escapes, life's good for the Joes. We all know how that goes. But with the photo, I used my Neewer lights. I don't believe, yes, I did use a little bit of a reflector and a little bit of my iPad lights as well. The Neewers, I used the blue gel on a light that was in the background that was shining down on everybody. And then I used just the white light from the Neewer coming in the front left, it looks like. So it wasn't any kind of big, crazy shot setup or anything. It was more about the show of force surrounding Duke and Major Blood without his helmet, because frankly, that's just a really cool head sculpt. Yeah. Okay. What did I shoot on Tuesday? Tuesday was just a simple picture of everybody's favorite Cajun, Gambit. And yes, the tea's still hot. So far I'm nailing it. The looks of it, Gambit was just, he was lit from the front right pretty harshly. He had a little bit coming in from the back left. I believe it looks like it was pretty flat. I didn't have anything way above anybody in this shot. And I made quite a few adjustments in Lightroom to get the background so it was a little more cyan, get the foreground so it was a little warmer. Basically, Gambit's pretty warm, the background's pretty cool. That's pretty much it. With this one, what I enjoyed about this shot was I made sure to keep the colors pretty saturated, while at the same time making most of my adjustments in Lightroom instead of Photoshop. So again, it wasn't a complicated setup. Frankly, I haven't had time for a lot of complicated setups, and I think the simpler setups oftentimes have the better results. But I thought that the picture actually came out pretty well. I also used my iPad. I have an app on here. I believe it's called Nightlight, and I'll put a link to that in the description as well, that you can make any color you want as far as light's concerned. So I added just a touch of pink to it and shined it right on Gambit so it looked like the power effect from the card was kind of lighting him up a little bit. Nothing too major, but a little something or other. Now, let's, I don't want to spoil anything, but I wonder what I shot on Wolverine Wednesday. Yes, for Wolverine Wednesday, you guessed it, I did a picture of Cobra Command. I'm kidding. It was actually Wolverine. It was the Mafex brown suit Wolverine, which I've grown to really dig. And I wanted to tell a bit of a story with this shot. So I have Wolverine kind of looking off to the left of frame, kind of like something's coming his way. I used cotton for the smoke effect. I still used my High School Creations diorama for the background, even though it's really blurred up. And I used a lot more Photoshop to make the cotton almost look like it was fiery around the edges. But Wolverine's looking off to the side, ready to throw down. There were a lot more Lightroom effects. I was trying to use Lightroom a lot more than Photoshop this week, just to see what I could come up with. And the lights, I hit them pretty hard with some backlight coming in from, backwards on the right of the frame. It was coming in from that direction. And then I hit him with a little bit of harsh lights, though not as harsh, coming from the front left of his direction. So it was kind of pointing at him diagonally. Nothing too crazy there. I used a little bit of a reflector, but not much there either. I wanted to make sure that, again, he was really warm and the photo itself was really warm because I wanted it to look like there was fire. And he's looking to the side like he knows who's there and he's about to rough him up. And it's Wolverine, so we can all believe that's actually going to happen. Yeah. All right. Let's check out Thursday. Oh, yes. The tea's still hot. And Thursday's picture was a sepia tone one featuring Gunslinger Spawn, because I tend to figure Gunslinger Spawn, for some reason, I always think of as Doc Holliday from the movie Tombstone. Val Kilmer nailed it. Well, at least as far as we know. I wasn't around Doc Holliday when he was actually alive, but I imagine Val Kilmer must have done a fair impression of the man. So what I did was I took Gunslinger Spawn, made sure he was totally in focus, brought the Violator way forward. I didn't light it up too crazy. I believe Gunslinger was mostly backlit with, he had a reflector kind of pointing some of the light back onto his chest so you could see the white emblem and all that good stuff. So this way he was actually framed by a blurred out Violator, whereas he was totally in focus. And then I did a sepia tone over the image so that it could look kind of like the Wild West. And I did a video showing how I did that. The audio quality sucked when I was in the Photoshop section, but hey, if you just muted at that point and watch the steps on the screen, maybe you'll figure it out. Here's a hint. It's not that tough. All right, on to Friday. I gotta stop with the creepy look. All right, we're at Friday's pick. The tea's still hot. I mean, it's not boiling, but it's still pretty warm. It hasn't reached lukewarm, so I'm still counting it as hot. So there's that. Also, don't forget to stay to the end of the video so you can see today's photo. But Friday's picture was Destro kind of just looking at his computer, just checking it out. And I had to do a little more work on this one than I usually like to do. One, I hit him from the back pretty good with a light. Those knee whirs again, link in the description. And then I also hit him with some knee whirs from above so you can get that extra little shine on his chrome dome. Maybe I should go bald so the shine doesn't look so weird on my chrome dome. So anyway, there's that going on. And then I added a little bit of light, just a touch of Photoshop light coming from the monitor. What I'd like to get are those little clicky LEDs that I could put in something like that, so just natural light would come in. But that's what I have right now, is a little bit of Photoshop editing. And then the light itself bounces, it kind of reflects onto Destro's face and a little bit on his collar. So I did that. I added some cotton in the front to give it a cloud, kind of a villain lair kind of look, and just played a little more in Lightroom to make sure that the background was a little more greens and yellows. Destro was a little cooler in the front because villain, gotta be cool. So that was how I did that one. And now on to Saturday's pick, the final pick, the last pick I need to talk about before hoping that the tea is still hot. All right, here's a tea test. Ready? Here we go. Oh yeah, still better than lukewarm. I'm crushing it on the speed here. Well, still being detailed, of course. I don't want to rush things. Saturday, that would be yesterday if you're watching today, which is Sunday. If you're not, that's okay. You can still find this picture anywhere in our feed or in my feed. By the way, I post all these things every day on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Facebook and Twitter, it's just a straight up at Toypixx. Instagram, however, somebody else has Toypixx, so I'm tried contacting them, waiting for that to drop. But on Instagram, it's Toyp1, the number 1, XX. So I'll make sure to put those links in the description as well so you can check out these pictures as they go during the week. But Saturday's, was a picture that I overdid it on. I had Batman throwing down with the Viper that I just showed you earlier in the video, and it was too much. Like, the picture was fine. I thought that I had the action right. The scene, I think I cropped okay. No big deal there. But I way over-edited it. As I'm looking at it right now, you can see what I was going for was I wanted the highlights to be a little oranger and the lowlights, or the darker colors, to be more on the cyan side of things, kind of give it that sort of filmy look, you know, when you watch a movie and a lot of the light stuff is orange and a lot of the really dark stuff is cyan. Transformers, that franchise, perfect example of all this. It's not a perfect example of much else, but it is a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. So if you watch it, if you look at it, you can see I just kind of overdid the photo editing. You can see that the picture, the framing looks okay. You can see the action's right there. The action's spot on. I did a good job with that. But there's too much that I don't like about it to be overly happy with this pic. So you can check it out for yourself, see what you think. With the Viper, he is kind of falling backwards. I used a Ashen Lake Shop stand, a figure stand, to hold him up. And then when I took the picture, I made sure it was just cropped out. So he is kind of leaning back a little bit, but I didn't use putty or anything like that. I just used a figure stand to make him look like he's falling backwards without completely losing his balance. And whoo! That was Saturday's shot. Now, to the outro. Whew! Tea's still hot. I'm pretty proud of myself. Anywho, hope you guys dug today's video and you kind of got an overview of my thought process and what all I'm doing when I put together these photos. And hey, maybe you'll be able to check them out a little more regularly. Although at the end of these videos, I'm starting to get to a point where I'm trying to post the photo that I took that day for the video that goes up that day. Yeah, that made sense in my head. When I spoke it, I'm not so sure, but I think y'all know what I mean. Also, I said y'all, not even Southern. That's weird. I'm going to take another swig. So, there you go. Comment below. Let me know if you have any questions. Clearly, I didn't write this outro. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any comments on things maybe I could have improved on in these photos. Because again, this channel is about helping you guys, and maybe you guys being able to help me. Good Lord, it is definitely a Sunday, kids. So yeah, go ahead, comment with that stuff. Like, subscribe, share, do all those things. And I'm going to get out of here before I make myself sound any more foolish. So, have fun. And as always, happy snapping. See ya.